Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Louis Smithson. He's had 6 fights so far, and it's fight week. It's that time again. This time he's boxing Harvey Smith, who's 3-0 again over 6 rounds at super bantamweight at the Brentwood Centre in Essex on the Top Tier Show live on Dazn. And yes, pleasure getting you on as always, Louis.
Yeah, nice to be on, mate. Hope you're doing well.
All good, all good. And yes, just briefly, before we get into, your whole camp and stuff, about this fight, just briefly talk about I had you on before your last fight against it was Joe Miller. You fought in Rayton. Unfortunately, a first round stoppage defeat. Talk about that fight and how would you evaluate Joe Miller as an opponent?
Yeah, no, he was good. He was quite big. He was bigger than I thought he was going to be. But yeah, I think it's safe to say I don't think I'll be traveling that far for a fight again. And definitely not anytime soon, and definitely not if it's not worth anything. Um, yeah, doing like a same day weigh-in, and traveling that far is it's not good. It doesn't put you in the best position to go out there. So I don't think I'll be doing that again. Not traveling that far.
And
But
yeah,
yeah,
how would you rate his power compared to the likes of Matty Ball and Zach Fee and
um,
Danny Boardman, who you have been in there with quite a
hmm.
few heavy hitters, haven't you?
Yeah. To be honest, out of all of them, I'd still say Danny Bourne was probably the best one that I've been in with, probably on paper, and then just as far as had all the tools. But Zach Fee also very good. He was very good at picking shots, placing things. Um, Borland, that was obviously I just shouldn't have gone up in that weight, and he was very strong. Um, but yeah, I don't know. He was all right. He was big. He was rangy. But like I said, it was just sort of well, even in the change rooms, I just after the whole day of getting up there and weighing in, you just sort of didn't want to be there. So I don't want to feel like that ever again. Sort of in a change room in a boxing ring. So I won't be traveling doing that again.
Yeah, and of course you put I think you put a post out quite recently on your socials about, the lessons that you learnt last year.
Yeah, I just think. Yeah, I wasn't taking it as seriously as I need to. And if I'm going to be fighting more often, and just in general, even if I fought once a year, I just wasn't taking it as sort of serious as I should have been. Just sort of plodding along. And in this game, you do need to be giving it the full thing. So with this, I can, wholeheartedly say this is probably the hardest I've probably ever trained since turning pro. It's probably the best shape I've felt in, mentally and physically through the whole thing. Just yeah, and I haven't felt like that for a good while. So it's probably done me a favour, learned some lessons these losses, and even if you're losing, you don't want to be losing how I had been losing because I know that's not me, and so I just need to at least prove that. But yeah, I can definitely say this is the best I've felt in my entire career so far, and I've given myself the best opportunities to go out there and look good and give a great performance.
Would you say new year, new you in boxing?
Yeah, I think it's just sort of people always say they take lessons. You do take little lessons, but over Christmas, I just sort of had a lot of thinking time and do I want to do it and stuff like that. And I obviously do love it. I do want to do it, and it's just about committing. It's just about committing myself properly and taking it seriously. It's not a game you can sort of mess about in. So uh,
Did you say that you were considering retirement at a point?
not necessarily. I never really thought about it. It was just more like if I'm gonna carry on, I need to take it seriously, and if I'm not, then not. I didn't think, oh, I want to retire or anything like that. It was just sort of giving myself a kick up the arse. I've said it before that I've done it, and I did do it. Like even for the Bournemouth fight, I sort of done it, and I got through that and felt all right. But I've taken it like another level up from that, and I don't just want to get through these fights. I want to give good performances and prove that I belong in them better fights and with these better opponents. Even if I'm fighting more often, I want to be in the best sort of space mentally and physically that I possibly can.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, you're back on the top tier show. You're a big fan of the top tier shows, aren't you? And Johnny's got you back on against another top prospect in Harvey Smith, who is another unbeaten opponent.
Yeah, like I got offered it, and I thought, why not a top tier show? They're obviously, like I've said it many times, they're probably some of the best shows out there, especially locally to me, and like across London. So yeah, it's always good. You know what you're getting with top tier. It's always going to be like, yeah, the top tier of the spectrum. So you know what you're getting. It's and Harvey Smith, I think he made his debut on when I fought Boardman, so he's like fresh in it. So it'd be good. I think it will be an interesting fight. I've watched him a bit. I've studied him, which I don't usually do. I don't really look at the opponents either, but I've studied him a little bit and like I said, taking it as seriously as I can. Um, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this one.
What so and why is it this time that now you're in the at this stage of your career are you starting to watch your opponents more? Is there
Yeah, it's just like I said, I just thought I just want to give myself every opportunity to give the best performance I can. So whether it's watching the opponents, training harder, the diet, just everything, everything has gone up like a good few notches, and I feel so much better for it. And like when you prepare hard, it gives you that bit of comfort mentally that you know that you've done everything you can. So in fight week, you're not second guessing. Like there's no second guessing for me. So I'm confident in my engine. I'm confident in my durability. Everything feels better. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to yeah. Like and I've said I put something out saying like the worst case is that I just give a great account of myself. But obviously I'm always coming to win. I'm always coming to push whoever I'm in there with. I want them to feel like it's been the toughest night of their life and they've had to think or they've had to fight and that's what I want to do.
yeah, and of course yeah, sort of how did this opportunity sort of come about? Of course, did you see him after your fight against Danny? Did you see him at all or
Yeah, I think well, I went into the change room after to see Morgan because he was fighting, who's a teammate of mine, same gym, and he was, I think, yeah, he was in there sort of. I think he was fighting at bantamweight and just making his debut, so it weren't really like on a radar as a future opponent or anything. It was just
so
he was
you
just
weren't
like,
keeping an eye on him or
nah, no, it was just he was just in the changing rooms and then yeah, I think I saw I think I watched a bit of his fight because he fought. I think it was Sean Jackson on that fight on that one. So I watched a little bit of that, and yeah, it wasn't like I thought he was going to be a future opponent, but he seems like a nice enough guy. So I'm just looking forward to a good fight.
yeah, and then of course, in his last fight, he last fought in December. I think it might have been, yeah, it might have been the week after you fought Joe Miller. Actually, he fought at York Hall against
Mhm.
Adam Yahar, and he dropped
Yeah,
him in the first round. He tends to come out quite strong in the first round. Tries to take your head off. Sort of, I wouldn't, say he's like Danny Boardman, but you know what I mean when I say that.
yeah. I think he's puts on quite a bit of pressure. He stays sort of the same throughout the whole fight, which is good. But yeah, I mean, compared to Danny Bourne, it doesn't. I mean, he literally come out and tried to take my head off for the whole fight. So I don't think it can get too much worse than that. And like I said, I gave myself. I did train pretty well for Danny Bourne, and I got through that one. I didn't as much as it looked like it was a tough night. I actually felt all right in that fight. I didn't feel like I was majorly in danger or anything. So I'm confident that yeah, I'll be good for this one.
And of course, you're boxing. Not that it makes a difference, but this time you're boxing on a Sunday.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it, to be honest. Like the Saturday shows usually start at like 5, 6 o'clock, whereas this one starts at 2. So it's a bit like an earlier day. You get there, you're not waiting about all day. Do you know what I mean? But I'm actually probably looking forward to it a bit more. Like it's the worst thing is for a fighter is getting there and having to wait about in the changing room all day. So knowing that the whole show is probably going to be over by 8 o'clock when that's when you're usually fighting is quite a comfort. But yeah, I mean it doesn't really matter what day you fight on. You still got to fight. So
But how do you prepare, when you could be fighting about half 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon? How do you prepare, your mindset and yeah, and how you eat on fight day sort of thing?
yeah, it's probably. I'm just going to treat it similar to like a sparring day, like on a weekend that I'd either spar sort of late morning or early afternoon. So it's sort of similar. Um, Obviously on fight day, you don't want to be eating loads and loads and being full up and lethargic, but yeah, it's just a little adjustments. But I actually think it's going to be better than waiting about all day and stuff like that. It's not so much the work. Yeah, nerves. Like you just sitting there waiting about. It's not a nice feeling sitting in the changing room for hours. At least you get there. You're gonna warm up, and then you don't have to sit about for hours. You're gonna be fighting fairly soon.
And most fighters say it's the waiting that, is the most, what's the word?
Yeah, just anticipating the fight. It probably takes about 10% of your energy, like nervous energy, like sitting there, walking about, floating about. You just can't wait to get in there. So you're thinking about it so much. Some people build it up. I've done it on my debut. You build it up into such a big thing. And at the end of the day, you're spending 20, 25 minutes in a ring. You do it week in, week out sparring. So, you don't need to build it up to a massive thing in your head when you're waiting all day. But I think this Sunday show basically eliminates the sitting there thinking
And
about
are
it all
you
day.
weighing in on the Saturday or
Yeah,
Sunday?
so it's day before weighing, which is perfect, which is great. So that's always ideal. You're not got to think about weighing in and then only got a few hours to get your food and drink or whatever, and you've got a whole sort of 24 hours, which is good. So that's always a bonus.
Will you be watching the fights on Saturday? Of course, Chisora's boxing Otto Wallin, or will you be too busy getting ready for your fight in, well, the afternoon?
Yeah, no, I'll probably I might watch the boxing or once you weigh in, I think the weigh in sort of midday. So once I weigh in, I'll be going home, having some food and that, chilling out, not watch a few films or whatever. I might watch the boxing depending what time it's
Do you
on and
just
stuff.
try and take your mind off the fight like the day before?
Yeah, you don't need to be thinking about it too much. You should, I've watched him, I've prepared well, so it's just about getting rest and I'll be thinking about it Sunday morning, I'll be thinking about it on Sunday. So try not to think about it too much or overthink about it and spend too much energy on it. Um, yeah, so just it'll be a chilled Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and I'm gonna mention it, but your former opponent Zach Fee's also um boxing on Sunday as well. How do you feel he'll get on in his contest?
Yeah, I'm hoping that I don't know if he'll be on before or after me. I'm not too sure the running order just as it is. I would like to watch him. And yeah, just sort of best of luck to him. He's a nice guy, Zach. We follow each other on socials, like each other's stuff. It's I like same with Danny Bullman. I like seeing them do well. If
He's
someone's
boxing Saturday
yeah, yeah, that's the thing. If you fought someone, especially if they beat you, you want to
against
see them
Nabil Ahmed, who you was meant to
gonna
fight.
fight. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
tough. He's that'll be a good sort of. Like I think that Nabil Ahmed's, he's a tough kid. So it'd be a good to see. I'd like to watch that to be honest, but yeah, it's good to see former opponents doing well anyway.
yeah, and it's a good. Normally, you always get Saturday boxing, and you're trying to watch three, four shows at once. Sometimes, I mean, I have to get all sorts of things out to try and watch every card, and so it's good to see a bit of boxing on Sunday because you don't really tend to get that
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
it's sort of drifted away. I think they did sort of used to do that in the old days. I think they had a bit of, or like especially and amateurs as well as like Sunday stuff. But it's good. I think it's good. It's probably be a slight change of atmosphere. Usually, people are having like a few drinks at the boxing events. It gets a bit rowdy, but where it'll be a Sunday and most people will sort of be more rested, it might be a bit of a different atmosphere, and people might be able to soak it in a bit better. So I think it'll probably be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think he brings quite a few people down, and do you like that when the pressure's more on your opponent than it is you? He's got the people. I know you
Yeah,
bring a few people down, but he's got lots of people going for him.
yeah. I mean, yeah. It's down to him. Like, he might not feel the pressure of all these people. He might like it. I don't really pay too much attention to that. Who's there? Because to be honest, when you're in the ring, you don't hear anything anyway. I don't hear my opponent. Like I think Danny Bullman quite a lot of people to his, and you don't really hear it. Obviously, after you see there's quite a lot of people there, but you don't really notice it. So it does. I
'Cause
don't
you're
really
that
pay
zoned
attention to
in.
it. And at the end of the day, it's you and him in the ring. It's not you and all of his mates and whatever. It's just you and him. So I don't pay attention. And most of them, well, like especially with Danny Bull, most of them come up to me after and I'm respectful. So it's not like it's hostile. You know, they'll be cheering for him naturally, and so they
Have
should.
you had
They're his
any of
fans.
any hostile experiences or not yet?
No, no, I don't. I don't think there's any need for hostility, especially from people who probably have never boxed before. And at the end of the day, it's a sport. It's just two people doing what they like. I don't think I know it's an aggressive sport, and that's the nature, but you don't need it from people's
Mhm.
fans. So I don't. I
Mm.
don't think I will ever get that. I think it's more people sort of give you a bit of respect for doing it, and that's what you like to see. If I ever bought someone and they were hostile to my opponent, like one of my mates, I'd have a go at them because it's like, what are you doing? But no, I've never. I don't think I will have it unless you know you might get the odd idiot, but
Yeah.
I so far I haven't had it, and I don't think I will.
But 99% of the people are fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, like all Danny Bourne's mates were coming up to me after saying, "Oh, like work, like fair play, stuff like that," and shaking my hand. So that's how it should be. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's a sport, so there's no need for anything like that.
Yeah, and it's a good card as always, of course. Tom Welland's boxing roulettes are at the top of the bill. Kevin Reveal's in a good 50-50, in a good 50-50 fight, and East Targes boxing. Former European champion Thomas Asumba as well. And yeah, there's some good fights. Your fight, Zach V, Louis Pache the whole card is
Mm.
some
Yeah,
good.
like I said,
Should be some good scraps in there.
yeah, all the top tier cars just seem to be, getting better and better. It's good. It's good yeah, it's good to see some like good talent on there, which there is some serious up and coming talent like that. So I'll probably stick around and watch it, you know, knowing that you're not going to be stuck there all night and it's going to be over probably by like 8 o'clock. You'll be home by half eight, nine or whatever. So it's nice. Yeah, it'd be nice to go there, fight, get that out of the way, and then enjoy some of the other boxing.
Do you know what time you're boxing roughly or no?
Well, I think it starts at 2. I'd imagine I'd have boxed by sort of 4 or 5, but I don't know. You don't know the running order. I think a few people have pulled out as well,
Yeah.
and so I think it probably changes it slightly. You might have to move some things around, and whoever sells tickets, whatever. So it'll be interesting to see. But like I said, no matter what, it's not going to be late. So yeah, it's good. I reckon I'll be probably one of the first 5. Johnny did say he'd be on early, so I reckon it'll be maybe one of the first 5, something like that.
Good stuff. And yeah, of course, back on Dazn,
Yeah,
which is good.
that's a bonus. Like I said, I think they deserve to be on the zone. The shows are unbelievable. So yeah, it's just a bonus. It's great to have that platform to be on.
Yeah, and of course, you've got two other fights lined up, but we'll, recap after your fight on Sunday. I'll just mention them quickly now. We won't go into detail as, I know you're focused on this one, but
Mhm.
Jiran Ozgurs at Tolworth Recreation Centre, that's another six rounder. And
Yep.
1st of March, Josh Rose in Birmingham.
Yeah, yeah. Like the same. I haven't really paid attention to him yet because you don't know what will happen in this fight, and I've been full focused on Harvey Smith and what I've got to get done with that. So I don't want to
Yes.
cross. I don't want to cross it, like the fighters. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So once, and there's 2 weeks between that and the Harvey Smith one, so I've got plenty of time to watch. I've watched a little bit of the other guys, but I didn't want to delve too deep into that until after. So.
That's the main thing. And of course, as always, what can the fans expect from you this time around against Harvey Smith live on DAZN on Sunday?
Just probably it'll be. I'm coming out to it. It'll be the best version of myself for a long while. Yeah, like I said, this is the fittest, the strongest mentally and physically that I've felt probably in my whole career. I've done things correct, so I've got that confidence as well. Whereas I sort of was having to talk myself into being confident before, but now I've done the work. I've definitely done the work, so I'm confident, and yeah, just coming out to prove to myself more than anyone that I belong in these types of fights, and I want to, people paying their hard-earned money, so you've got to give them a show and give you good performance.
100%, and you always do. And yeah, as always, I'll like yeah, you shout out whoever you want as always.
Yeah, just usual friends, family that support me, and my manager and trainer Charles. It's all the same people. I think it will be the same people throughout my whole career. To be honest, it's the same people been there from the beginning. I think it'll be the same to the end. So just they know who they are, and yeah. And thanks to the top tier for another opportunity, Johnny, another opportunity to be on one of their shows. It's good that they have me back, and I love the show, so I'll always say yes to them.
Yes, 100%. And from me, Louis, as always, thank you for your time, and best of luck on Sunday. All the best.
Thank you, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime, Louis. Good luck.
Cheers, mate. See you later. Bye.